The silent watchers, the darkness between stars, held secrets that most civilizations never discovered. Commander Sarah Chun had spent 3 years learning to read those secrets. Her monitoring station floated in the empty void beyond Pluto's orbit, where nothing should exist except cold and silence. But tonight, the silence was breaking. "Commander, we're picking up something strange," Lieutenant Marcus Webb said from his console. His fingers moved across holographic displays that showed radio frequencies most species thought were secure. Multiple sources, all encrypted, all converging on the same communication node. Sarah moved to his station and studied the data streams. Years of experience told her this was not normal traffic. This was coordinated. This was deliberate. This was dangerous. "Can we crack the encryption?" she asked. Marcus smiled without humor. "Already done. Project Rosetta has been listening to alien chatter for 2 years now. We know their languages better than they think we do." He activated the translation protocol. Alien voices filled the command center, speaking in languages that had evolved on worlds humanity had never visited. But the words were clear enough. Words like invasion, extermination, human threat, and final solution. Sarah felt ice form in her chest. She had always known this moment might come. Humanity had expanded too fast, colonized too aggressively, and grown too powerful for the older civilizations to ignore. Now they were doing something about it. "Record everything," she ordered. "I want every word, every participant identified, every detail cataloged. And get me a direct line to Earth Defense Command. They need to hear this immediately." The conversation continued for hours. Sarah listened as representatives from 12 different alien species discussed humanity like a problem to be solved. They spoke of overwhelming force, simultaneous strikes, and the need to act before humans developed more advanced technology. They were planning the extinction of our species with the casual efficiency of administrators planning a construction project. One voice dominated the discussion. Ambassador Vex of the Kryn Collective spoke with authority that others respected. His species had controlled interstellar trade for millennia. Now humans were disrupting those ancient routes with faster ships and better prices. "We strike in 70 days, Vex declared. "That gives us time to position 900 warships without alerting human surveillance. We hit Earth and their 50 largest colonies simultaneously. Destroy their orbital infrastructure. Eliminate their communication networks. Force immediate surrender. The operation will be concluded within 1 standard cycle." Other voices agreed. Battle plans were shared. Fleet compositions were discussed. Target lists were compiled. Sarah listened to aliens planning the murder of billions with the same tone people used to discuss weather. When the transmission finally ended, Sarah sat in stunned silence. Her crew looked at her with fear in their eyes. They had all heard the same thing. War was coming, and the enemy believed they had already won. "Get me Admiral Torres," Sarah said quietly. "Priority Alpha clearance. What we just heard changes everything." Within hours, the recording reached Earth. Within days, every government leader and military commander had heard aliens casually discussing humanity's destruction. The response was immediate and absolute. If war was coming, humanity would be ready. Admiral Torres took personal command of Earth's defense strategy. He was old enough to remember when humanity had been confined to one planet, desperate enough to understand what extinction meant, and smart enough to know that conventional warfare would not save them. "They think we're weak," Torres said during the first emergency council meeting. "They see our technology as primitive, our weapons as inadequate, our defenses as laughable. We're going to use those assumptions against them." The plan was brilliant in its simplicity. Humanity would continue appearing weak while secretly building the most powerful defensive network in the solar system. Every asteroid would hide weapons platforms. Every moon would conceal military bases. Every satellite would disguise advanced detection systems. The aliens would see what they expected to see until it was too late. Construction began immediately. Millions of workers across dozens of worlds contributed to the effort without fully understanding why. They were told it was a routine defense expansion. Only the highest levels of government and military knew the truth. War was coming, and humanity had 70 days to prepare. Sarah's monitoring station became the eyes and ears of Earth's defense. Her team tracked every alien ship movement, every fleet concentration, every supply run. The invaders were careful, but not careful enough. Humans were watching everything. They're assembling at coordinates Delta 7, Marcus reported 40 days before the planned invasion. Looks like 300 ships so far. Mostly Kryn heavy cruisers with support vessels from 6 other species. Sarah marked the location on her tactical display. That's their primary strike force. They'll target Earth directly, while smaller fleets hit the colonies. What's our response status? Luna Base reports all hidden launch bays are operational. Mars shipyards have completed the last stealth destroyers. The asteroid belt weapons grid is fully powered. Every colony has activated their concealed defenses. We're as ready as we'll ever be. Sarah nodded slowly. Ready was relative when facing 900 alien warships. But they had advantages the enemy did not expect. Superior intelligence, better positioning, and the desperate determination of a species fighting for survival. The next 30 days passed intense preparation. Alien fleets continued gathering in dark spaces between systems. Human forces remained hidden, waiting. Torres reviewed battle plans constantly, adjusting tactics, preparing contingencies. Every simulation showed heavy casualties, but ultimate victory, if the trap was sprung correctly. Sarah watched her screens as the invasion fleet began its final approach. 900 ships moving in perfect formation through the void. They looked invincible, unstoppable, certain of victory. They had no idea that humanity had been watching them for months. No idea that every move they made was tracked and analyzed. No idea that they were sailing into the most sophisticated ambush in military history. All stations report ready, Marcus said as the alien fleet crossed into the outer solar system. Weapons armed. Stealth systems active. Waiting for your command. But the command would not come from Sarah. This decision belonged to someone with more authority and more responsibility. On Earth, Admiral Torres watched the same displays and made the same calculations. The enemy was committed now. Too deep to retreat easily. Close enough that human weapons could reach them. Far enough that they still felt safe. Torres opened a channel that reached every human military installation in the solar system. His voice was calm, steady, and absolutely certain. Asterisk, all units, this is Torres. The enemy believes we are defenseless. They believe we are unprepared. They believe we will fall easily. It is time to show them how wrong they are. Operation Reckoning is now active. Defensive positions, reveal yourselves. Weapon systems, fire at will. Show them what happens when they mistake patience for weakness. Across the solar system, humanity's hidden defenses came to life. And the aliens were about to learn that underestimating humans was the last mistake they would ever make. Asterisk, the reckoning space itself seemed to transform in an instant. What had appeared empty suddenly blazed with activity. Asteroids opened like flowers, revealing weapon batteries that had been hidden for months. Satellites that seemed civilian shed their disguises and locked targeting systems onto alien ships. The moon's surface split open as massive hangar doors revealed launch bays filled with warships. Throughout the solar system, humanity shed its mask of weakness and showed its true face. Admiral Vex stood on the bridge of his flagship and watched his perfect invasion dissolve into chaos. His sensors screened warnings as hundreds of human weapons appeared from nowhere. Ships that should not exist. defenses that intelligence reports had never mentioned. Technology that humans were not supposed to possess. Impossible, Vex whispered. They knew. They knew everything. The first human railgun fired from a platform hidden inside a hollowed asteroid. The projectile crossed 1,000,000 kilometers in seconds. Vex's escort cruiser exploded without warning, its shields failing to stop a weapon moving at relativistic speeds. Before the debris had finished expanding, 20 more railguns fired from different positions. Alien ships died by the dozen. Their shields, designed to stop energy weapons and missiles, proved useless against solid projectiles moving at percentages of light speed. Captains who had fought 100 battles found themselves helpless against weapons they had never encountered. All ships, evasive maneuvers, Vex ordered. Return fire on all human positions. Deploy fighter screens. Activate emergency protocols. But there was nowhere to evade to. Human weapons platforms surrounded the alien fleet from every direction. The invaders had sailed into a killing zone designed specifically to trap them. Every route they turned toward brought them into range of more guns. From Earth's orbital space, stealth destroyers decloaked and opened fire. These ships were technological marvels that human engineers had created in secret shipyards. Fast, heavily armed, and nearly invisible until they attacked. They moved through the alien formation like sharks through prey fish, their plasma cannons burning through hulls that were supposed to be impregnable. Captain Maria Santos commanded one of those destroyers. She had trained for this moment for 3 years, knowing war was coming, but never speaking of it outside secure facilities. Now her ship danced through space, while her weapons carved destruction through enemy vessels. Target their command ships, she ordered her crew. Kill their coordination, and the rest will panic. Her tactical officer locked onto a massive alien dreadnought that was broadcasting fleet-wide commands. Santos did not hesitate. Her ship's main cannon charged and fired. The beam struck the dreadnought's bridge section and burned through armor that was supposed to withstand anything. The alien command ship went silent as its leadership died. Throughout the alien fleet, smaller vessels lost direction. Without clear orders, captains made their own decisions. Some tried to fight. Others attempted to retreat. Many simply died as human weapons found them. On Mars, Colonel James Park watched the battle from the underground command center that controlled the planet's defensive grid. His screens showed the engagement from 1,000 different angles. Every human weapon was firing. Every shot was calculated. The aliens had superior numbers, but humans had superior position and superior intelligence. "Sir, enemy forces are attempting to break through Sector 4, his tactical coordinator reported. 30 ships moving in coordinated attack pattern toward Earth. Park examined the enemy formation. They were desperate now, trying to reach their primary target before the battle was completely lost. It was a reasonable strategy. If they could threaten Earth directly, humanity might be forced to negotiate. Activate the Jupiter stations, Park ordered. Show them we have defenses they never imagined. Near Jupiter's orbit, stations that appeared to be simple research facilities transformed. Their surfaces opened to reveal weapons that had been theoretical until human desperation made them real. Graviton beam projectors that could create localized distortions in space-time itself. The weapons fired. Space twisted around the attacking alien ships. Their hulls crumpled as gravitational forces tore them apart from inside. 30 warships that had survived 100 battles became debris in seconds. The survivors in the alien fleet saw that display and understood the truth. Humans had not just prepared defenses. They had revolutionized warfare itself. Admiral Vex tried to establish control over his disintegrating fleet. His communications were jammed by human electronic warfare systems. His sensors were confused by countermeasures he could not identify. His weapons were outranged by guns that should not exist. His shields were useless against attacks that bypassed them entirely. Retreat, he finally ordered to any ships that could still hear him. All vessels, emergency jump to rally coordinates. This engagement is lost. But even retreat was not simple. Human fighter squadrons swarmed from hidden bases throughout the asteroid belt. Small, fast craft piloted by men and women who had spent years preparing for this exact battle. They intercepted fleeing alien ships and forced them back into the killing zone. Lieutenant Ryan Chun flew his fighter through a cloud of debris that had been an alien destroyer minutes earlier. His neural interface linked him directly to his ship's systems. He thought about targeting, and his weapons obeyed. He imagined movement, and his fighter responded. Humanity had merged pilot and machine in ways that gave them advantages no alien species possessed. Interceptor wing. 3 enemy cruisers attempting to flee at heading 270. His squadron leader transmitted. Pursue and disable if possible. Command wants prisoners for intelligence. Ryan acknowledged and pushed his fighter to maximum acceleration. His squad mates followed in perfect formation. They had flown together, so long they operated as a single organism. The fleeing alien ships never had a chance. Precision fire from 12 fighters disabled the cruiser's engines without destroying the vessels completely. The alien ships drifted helplessly, their crews trapped inside, while human boarding teams prepared to capture them. The battle lasted 14 hours. When it finally ended, the alien invasion fleet had been annihilated. Of 900 warships that had entered the solar system, fewer than 200 escaped. 500 were destroyed completely. 200 more were captured intact. Thousands of alien soldiers and crew became prisoners of war. Human casualties were significant, but far less than projections had suggested. 47 ships lost. 3,000 personnel dead. Dozens of orbital installations damaged. But humanity had survived. Earth remained free. The colonies were safe. Admiral Torres stood in the command center beneath Geneva and looked at the final battle statistics. Victory, but at a cost that would be remembered forever. Still, it could have been so much worse. If the aliens had achieved surprise, if humanity had not intercepted their communications, if 70 days had not been enough time to prepare, then billions would be dead now. Send message to all surviving alien vessels, Torres ordered. Tell them they are permitted to leave our system unharmed. Tell them to return to their governments with a message. Humanity will not be destroyed. We will defend ourselves against any threat. But we do not seek conquest. We offer peace to those who respect us and war to those who attack us. The choice is theirs. Sarah Chun watched from her monitoring station as the battered remnants of the invasion fleet limped away toward distant stars. Those survivors would carry stories of what had happened here. Stories of human strength, human deception, and human mercy toward defeated enemies. Within weeks, every major civilization in the galaxy knew what had occurred. An alliance of 12 species had attacked humanity, expecting easy victory. Instead, they had been crushed by defenses they never saw coming. The political consequences rippled across hundreds of worlds. Ambassador Vex, captured when his flagship was boarded, sat in a comfortable cell on Luna Base. He had been given medical treatment, proper food, and respectful handling. This confused him more than the military defeat. His people had come to destroy humanity. Yet humans treated their prisoners with dignity. Commander Chun visited him personally. She wanted to understand the enemy's perspective, to learn why they had believed extermination was necessary. Your expansion threatened our established order, Vex explained through his translator. You appeared weak, but grew strong too quickly. We feared what you might become, so we chose to end the threat before it fully developed. And now? Sarah asked. Vex was silent for a long time. Finally, he spoke words that would define a new era in galactic relations. Now we know the truth. Humanity is not a threat to be eliminated. You are a civilization to be respected. You could have destroyed us completely, but you chose mercy. You could have pursued our fleeing ships into our home territories, but you let them escape. This is not how conquerors behave. Perhaps we were wrong about what you would become. The war that was supposed to end humanity instead elevated them. Within a year, 5 species that had abstained from the invasion approached Earth seeking alliances. Within 5 years, technology exchange programs had begun. Within a decade, humans served alongside aliens in joint ventures that benefited both. The invasion had been meant to destroy humanity's future. Instead, it had secured humanity's place among the stars. The galaxy had learned that humans were dangerous when threatened, but honorable in victory. That combination of strength and mercy created something no amount of military force could achieve. It created respect. And respect, Sarah Chun knew as she watched new alien diplomatic ships arrive at Earth, was the foundation of lasting peace. The war was over. But the story of humanity among the stars was just beginning. Asterisk